Welcome back. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, reaching you live from Enugu. Thank you once again for joining us. Now we head into one of the biggest stories in Nigeria today. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, has denied certificate forgery allegations through his spokesperson, Dr. Robert Ngwu, in a press briefing in Abuja. Now, though absent himself, Nnaji reaffirmed via the statement that he graduated from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, in July 1985 with a B.Sc in Microbiology and Biochemistry. The statement cited the 1985 convocation brochure allegedly held in UNN's permanent archives as evidence of his graduation. It described media reports, especially from Premium Times, as false and politically motivated, accusing the UNN Vice Chancellor of cyberbullying and orchestrating a media trial for political reasons. Ngwu condemned the controversy as political desperation disguised as academic inquiry and accused the Vice Chancellor of overstepping his bounds. The minister in the statement concluded that he remains focused on his duties and will not be distracted by what they termed as a paid narrative. Now, the Enugu State Government has denied involvement in the certificate forgery scandal facing the minister. And of course, they're saying that he should be out there trying to clear his name and he should carry his cross. In a statement on Monday, the Director of Information, Mr. Chukwuemeka Nebo, made these remarks, saying that the government is dissociating itself completely from the controversy, stressing that the matter is entirely personal to Nnaji. And of course, this has caused a fresh angle in this ongoing developing dilemma. Joining us now is Attorney at Law, Editor-in-Chief, SBS Great Interviews, Ozo Iboneku Ogazimora, to weigh in on all of this confusion. Now everybody seems to have spoken except for NYSC, even though the Premium Times report has typically highlighted some of the, shall we say, differences. So let's hear from you. You've heard the whole story. What's your first appreciation?
Okay. In the first place, I am also wondering why the story comes up stage at the moment. We are not campaigning. We are not going for elections. And then, midway, I asked, could it mean there had been a push, a reason for somebody to fight the minister, a reason for persons sympathetic to the state government to push the narrative? I don't want to personally worry and talk about whether the man got the B.Sc or not. It ought to have been settled a long time ago. So the push at the moment, there has to be a motive. And that is exactly what we have to fathom. In the first place, it is not the constitution of Nigeria that somebody must have a university degree to become a governor, to become even the president. The constitutional provision is post-primary qualification.
A first schooling certificate. That's
Sorry?
First school leaving certificate.
Yeah, post.
Okay.
First school leaving certificate.
Yeah.
And in the case of Buhari and some other litigants, it was pointed out that even seminar certificates can be used as post-primary qualification. That is the qualification to become president of Nigeria. That is the qualification to become governor of Nigeria. So, in the first place, if Uche Nnaji's certificate is going to be controversial, why would he insert it? Why didn't he just insert school cert? When Hope Uzodinma had this kind of issue, he published in his personal website his degree certificate. He was immediately attacked. He changed it. He removed it and restricted his qualification to school certificate. So if Uche Nnaji, and I believe he knows, You see, in this particular thing, I do not think that the University of Nigeria is going to lie. That is the fact. University of Nigeria is actually compelled to be truthful in this particular matter. Now, if Uche Nnaji knows that he is going to have this kind of problem, he ought to have restricted his qualification to the school certificate to avoid all these problems. Now, that takes us to a question. Why is it coming now? Who is pushing it? And why would the person push it mid-term? Because this is still mid-term, 2 years plus of the government, of his office as a minister. Why is somebody pushing it? Is it likely that Uche Nnaji, who has been into mobilization, trying to rebuild APC in Enugu State, is making impact, and somebody sympathetic to the government wants to cut him down? That may be the case. So when some of these things are put out to the public, the question should be why and why now? It will not just come that way. It wasn't really public service that somebody was doing that, because all these things started in 2003 and there is litigation ongoing, which is one of the reasons I do not think I'm qualified to say whether he got it or he didn't get it.
Right. Now, this particular situation, Oji, let me just throw this in as well, because you mentioned a very salient point that somebody sympathetic to the government might be pushing this narrative.
Yeah.
Now, according to the origin of this story, the allegations, the nationwide scandal, a double-barrel scandal concerning NYSC schools, B.Sc, followed a 2-year investigation from one of us, a media person, Chinagorem Ngwu of Premium Times.
Yes.
Right? And not to forget, before Premium Times, there was People's Gazette in 2023. Now, the information gotten by both publishers was very different. One confirmed, another said he was not. But the essence is, this story has circulated following these reports, these investigative reports, and as Chinagorem said of Premium Times, this was due to a 2-year investigation. So is it a question of why and why now? Or is it more of a question of why do so many people in this cabinet in the APC, have questionable certifications?
Good, very good. You know, as my people would say, the stream spoils from the head. Mr. President has questionable credentials. There have been talks and debates about Chicago University and the rest of them. There are even talks about his true identity, who he was, whether he was a Moda, a Kinlere, or whether he is Tinubu. That question is there. So it is not really unusual that if the head has questionable credentials, the rest will naturally follow, because he will go not following that foundation of academic excellence, or at least qualification, because that isn't how he came about. That is not likely how he came about. He wasn't formulated on that to ask, what is this person's background? Because you see, this question of qualification is a matter of a person being capable of accessing government documents. A person who hasn't been to the university, how can the person read a 400-page policy document? The person cannot. So, but then, in our own case, the pollution has been from the head. The framers of the Constitution may be blamed, because it is either you remove academic qualification entirely, or you put something that we have to give us people who can access public documentation. If you say that qualification, academic qualification is post first school leaving, and you didn't even say it is WASC or NECO. At the Supreme Court, they said seminar papers could be that. Somebody who finished primary school with first school leaving certificate, he goes to work as a gate man or a cleaner, he attends a seminar which is certificated, he attends another one, he attends the other one. These things put together are regarded as qualifications, post-primary qualifications, and the person is qualified to be the president of Nigeria. In the past, yes, it's possible. Most of the military heads of state didn't go to the university. Indeed, most of them didn't have, especially from the north, they didn't have a school cert because they were recruited from class 4 then. And they were attending military training and courses, and they became heads of state. So, it is either the Constitution says, which is a very big challenge, because you are not likely to get it without a fight. If the Constitution says this is the qualification, the ministers, all those people having questionable credentials, even the Peter Mba that suffered his own questions about NYC and the rest of them, he should have just said school cert, and he will save himself of the problem. Since the school cert or post-primary school is the qualification, he should have said that. Then, on this question you asked, you see, or rather, you are aligning the issue of the finding. You see, in this, I see a little bit of muckraking. There was the report that ignited this, quoted the University of Nigeria. I mean, this recent one, quoted the University of Nigeria. That is, quoted the VC. That the VC made the statement, cited a reference or clarification from the university, and then referred to the ongoing case and submissions. But the University of Nigeria has denied that they made a statement. And it is not likely that Professor Otwanya, appointed in August, would make a statement in March on behalf of the university. You see why? That is why I think pro-Mba guys, I don't want to say Mba himself, pro-Mba fellows are sponsoring this. And the minister himself, I can say, is the architect of his own problem.
How, sir?
Because he knew that his University of Nigeria claims would be questioned.
Okay, you were talking about a political undertone earlier on this expose, right? So let's bring it to perspective right now. What could actually propel or be the reason why you said pro-Mba could be the reason why they're attacking this individual? Is it because from the grapevine we are hearing that a Uche Nnaji is, one of his ambitions is to become the governor of Enugu State? And also, is this a problem too, as from the grapevine, as alleged to, that a Dr. Peter Mba is eyeing the APC regarding the issues the PDPs are having, right? So now, to juxtapose these two ambitions, right, pro-Mba and also a faction of Uche Nnaji don't want a Peter Mba in the APC. Could this be the reason why? Could you tie this together, be the reason why at this point in time, I said midterm, you know, that this is out, this expose is out here and tarnishing the image of this individual, knowing fully well that from the grapevine we heard that come 2027, he wants to run for governor of Enugu State under the APC.
Good. It is not even a matter from the grapevine. Uche Nnaji is running. He ran before. He failed. He wants to run again. And he's moving around trying to mobilize, it is possible that that is mobilization is gaining inroad, and the government sympathizers want to cut him down with this. They consider this the trump card. With this trump card, with this axe, we will take him down. That is one angle. Then, on the issue of Peter Mba crossing over to APC, you know, one of the things I don't like about Nigerians' politics is the level of secrecy. It is not a gossip. Peter Mba tried to go to APC. They gave him conditions. They told him, dismiss your executive. Split it into two. Give one part to APC, give one part to PDP. Dismiss the local government chairman, split it into two, take one part, give one part to APC. And then the parastatals and the rest of them.
Yeah.
And it is difficult for him to do. Peter Mba is working hard to go to APC. It's not a secret thing. It's not supposed to be a secret thing, but they want it to be a secret thing.
I heard from Uche Nnaji's faction that they're loud about it. You know, they're very vocal about it. Him coming into APC, they don't want him, all that stuff, because it's going to deter this individual, Uche Nnaji, I beg your pardon, you know, vying for governorship of Enugu State come 2027 under the APC umbrella.
Yeah, ordinarily, a sitting governor crossing over to a party is a threat to other people who have ambitions. So Uche Nnaji has ambition to become governor. And Peter Mba coming as a sitting governor with a great deal of resources, it is a threat to him, to that his ambition. So he will ordinarily fight. But what I've just told you was the condition given to him.
Split the cabinet.
Let them deny it. That is the truth. I know the truth. I have the same level of contact. Right? Split your executive between APC and PDP. Split the local government between PDP and APC. Split the leadership of the infrastructure and other institutions.
That's literally watering down your powers.
Okay, so let's now, first of all, that's a great revelation that you've made on the show today, and that's something we're going to come back to, right? The letter you talked about, clarification on that. Now, Premium Times sent a notice requesting for the verification of the degree certificate, and they were responded to by the VC on 2nd of October, not in March.
That is the latest.
That's the latest. So not the March. So that's, you said that you were trying to allege that letter might not be authentic because of when the VC came in vis-a-vis when it was released.
No.
But this letter
I
is
didn't
in
mean
October.
It wasn't authentic.
Right.
I was trying to say that the media report, which ignited this recent one, was not likely correct, because before this 2nd October statement, it was quoting a March statement, right? There was a March statement, and Professor Tuanya couldn't have made that statement in March when he was not yet the VC.
All right. So now heading back to this whole APC talk, right?
Yes.
Concerns were raised yesterday by ADC as to why the president is silent about the allegations made against his own minister. Now, from the beginning of the show, we've heard analysts say, I mean, the president has his own issues as well. He has not said anything. So they're trying to just say, what about his own certificates, right?
Yeah.
But taking it back to the, I know you're about to say that as well.
It's going to come to the conversation if, anything like that
So
happens.
I know you're going to say that as well. So now that aside, I have an interesting question also.
Okay.
Quite interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think President Bola Tinubu has a hand in the current situation the minister is facing? Because the same president has also been wooing the Enugu State Governor. Do you think that the president's silence on this matter could be that perhaps he has some kind of influence on all of these credibility issues swirling around the minister like a tornado?
Well, let me tell you this. I do not know any reason or think that the president is interested. And I do not believe that the president is wooing Pitamba. No, it is Pitamba who wants to go in there. You know, in Nigeria, we don't have what we call variable sum win in elections. We have winner takes all. APC wants total control of Nigeria. Every party had that ambition. And because of that, they want to take over all the states. So, it is going to be in the interest of APC that its challenge in the southeast is narrowed if it has more governors. Because you know, for instance, southeast is one place that goes almost with the block vote at all times. In 2023, we know how the vote went. So, the president will work at reducing flickers and tensions from every corner. That does not mean that the president will have to woo Mba, because in wooing Mba, why is he doing that?
Now,
Mba would not have won the election.
Now, the thing here, right, and why people speculate, though there is no concrete evidence that supports the claim that the president is wooing Mba, but why the speculation is rife is, number one, the president came himself to Enugu State, commissioned projects, and we saw what happened in Afia. Though they've given us information and reasons as to why the president did not come himself, valid reasons. I mean, the national chair lost his mom. That was valid. But the president came himself, and during that visit, he saw a lot of how Enugu had transformed, the remarks he made about the president, the show of support, how close the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is with the wife of the governor of Enugu State. We saw how impressed she was that Enugu was clean, and even went ahead to give Enugu a check, I think of 100 million naira in Abuja for being the cleanest state in Nigeria. So a lot of these things are showing how influential that it appears the Enugu State Government is. And for his presidential bid, he might need someone of that capacity to be a part of the cabinet, judging by recent remarks. Now, somehow, there are also whispers that say that the minister, on his part, is trying to show how influential he is and protect his own territory as well. So, you're seeing a lot of these conflicts, and these are the remarks that support these speculations. So, how can we justifiably say that there is no attempt top to bottom and it's all bottom to top?
Okay. Let me just clear one thing. All those things you mentioned in real politics do not determine anything. Obasanjo would come to your house, ask for pounded yam and obono soup. After eating it, he will sack you. Right? He went to Audu Ogbe's house, asked for those things. After eating it, he put his hand in his pocket and gave him his resignation paper, signed that you have resigned. And he left and came back and said, put the date, right? So these are normal courtesies in government. And it is required, the federal government is not supposed to antagonize any other government. Remember, by our constitution, the state is a constituency, is a constituent part, is a federating unit, is a unit in the federation. And the president is not allowed to antagonize or discriminate against that state. So if he comes to Enugu and makes gestures, that does not indicate that he's weighing any particular governor.
Okay, so now let's head away from politics, because this matter, like I said, it's not just about politics, it's about the entire foundation of the minister's academic credentials. So I have this final question for you, and then Oji will wrap up, right? So there's a hashtag trending on X that says, leave Uche Nnaji alone. That's on one side. But let's look at the letter that is making the rounds. Now, a letter dated January 3rd, 1986, and that's the handwritten letter. We'll pull that up on screen now. The handwritten letter that earlier surfaced, allegedly addressed, actually addressed to the Registrar of Exams through the head of the Microbiology Department, titled Application for Involvement in the June 1986 Exams, specifically referencing the course MCB 431AB Virology. The letter was stamped, received by the Registrar's Office in January 1986, and has now raised new questions about the timeline of the minister's academic and postgraduate activities. Now, analysts point to an apparent contradiction, and the contradiction is, if Minister Nnaji claims to have completed his National Youth Service Corps in May 1986, how then could he have been able to or apply for to receive an exam in June 1986? Same year, completed 1986, and you are still applying to retake an exam in the same 1986, having purportedly gained admission to join the NYSC in April 1985, as alleged. These are the major issues, and while these reports are still rife, the minister is not stepping down on his claim. He said he's an alumnus and has brought out a brochure to show Nigerians. So can we focus on the issue beyond politics, the entire foundation of this issue?
Okay. You see, there was a recent report I read where they said the minister admitted that he did not hold the university degree. I do not want to go into that because it is sub judice. That is in court, right? When I made a statement, there was my statement I made, maybe you didn't get it. Uche Nnaji has the capacity to end all these controversies. And do you know how?
How?
Remove degree from his qualification. There's a reason I said that. Remove it, you put his school cert. He used proper school cert to get into University of Nigeria. And that is enough qualification to be anything.
Could that be the reason why the helm of affairs, they are keeping mute to all this, because they know he can remove and revert to his first living school certificate?
Yes. At the moment, that is what is credible, what is not being challenged. And you are sure of that. Knock off the other ones.
Is it not criminal already submitting an illegal document to the Senate, doing a ministerial screening? The DSS will get hold of those documents, the Senate too, and all that. Is that not criminal already and could lead him into some
it can be criminal, but then I prefer to look at what he said in court. Because it is what he says in court that will determine whether he has perjured. If he perjures in court, he is going to jail. You understand?
Yeah.
But let us, if that is statement he made, they reported that he made, admitting that he didn't hold the degree, right?
Yeah.
It is better you leave it at that.
What do you make of his press release, speaking through proxy, than coming out himself? It's an allegation on Uche
And
Nnaji.
beyond that, now another interesting, question that also appears to be an allegation made in the state's response last night is said, is it true that while he claims to be in possession of a university degree, he only submitted his secondary school WASC certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission for his participation in the 2023 governorship election? That's a question, but also an allegation. That's somewhat about a revelation allegation question, if I can say that.
Has that not answered the question?
Answer the question.
Yes,
What's the answer?
You remember what I said? That he can end this today, now, by saying, this is the qualification I hold. And all the controversies will end. Right?
Ended yesterday by him coming to his press release and talk to Nigerians.
Yes.
Because now Oji is also making a very valid point that he did not show up. He was absent at the press conference.
Let him end it.
But I'm saying
I have a
he
reason
was
for
absent.
saying that.
He did his through
That
a
is to
proxy.
tell you, I'm not saying everything I know. I have a reason for saying, let him end it there.
Tell us.
Well, I would have
what
loved
do you
to
know?
hear everything.
Also, what else do you know? I mean, you made some interesting revelations
Yes.
about splitting cabinets and the rest. What else
else
do you know?
do you
Tell
know?
us. Tell us what else you know also.
And I can say the government people should also apply limit in what they are doing. Do you understand? You have a cupboard, there's a skeleton there. There's a skeleton there.
My closet is clean. There's no skeleton in my closet.
Don't worry, when it comes under scrutiny,
Yeah.
don't worry about that. When we remove your suits, and then your shirt and your trousers.
It's my bare body that there's no. You see the skeleton, it's my bare body. You see
When
the
we
flesh.
apply the satellite,
Yeah.
the searchlight, by the time we apply it on your body, we'll get to see your own.
Also, you're saying some kind things like an elder. That's I need to bring
All right,
down, but
all
it's
right.
fine,
Before we start boogieing down on the show and well, stripping Oji off his suit and then revealing the skeleton, because you're saying flesh. Also, he's saying the skeleton.
You can't see my skeleton. If you remove my clothes, you see my flesh.
You'll be surprised the skeleton will just come out. Wow.
The satellite goes through the flesh.
Okay, we're out of time. We have to wrap this up. Thank you also, as always. We'll continue this conversation and thank you for your input. I'm sure when we rewatch this, we're going to start to see the remarks made in between the lines.
Thank you very much.
The skeletons in your speech this morning. Thank you also. The morning show returns in seconds, and when we come back, we'll be discussing the controversial case of a real estate CEO, reports revealing that he's currently in custody over allegations linked to a land dispute. Stay tuned.